So it's August 3rd. I'll kind of hold my hat there. Hope the wind noise isn't too bad. I'm back at home here, so to speak, at my picnic table. I'm making some headway delving into the homeless here in Brantford. I think this is an issue we really need to bring to light here in Canada. People don't realize. As the one fellow I was talking to said, I forget quite how he said it, but he said, a lot of people have no sympathy for us, but they're just one small slip up away themselves from being homeless. And it's true. Over the last 2 years, perhaps even 1 year, here in Canada, the average Canadian's gone from being $1,000 away at month's end to calamity to $200. It's a government statistic. $200, that's a pretty fine line. It really is. But if you follow the channel for any time at all, you know this boots on the ground stuff is new to me. I tend to do my homework, I call it, so that if anybody wants to fact check me, I can say, yeah, I got that from the WEF site. Yeah, I got that from Stats Canada. Yeah, I got that from Canada.ca. This boots on the ground stuff, well, again, it's new to me, and it seems funny to be using tracking skills in a city to find these people. Example, the couple I was talking to earlier, Mercedes and Dawn. You know, I just approached cautiously. They're packing their kit, I'll say to speak. They had a couple of bags of buns and some crushed up cans and, you know, their kit, right, for their day as they go out and forage, trying to make ends meet. And it starts out slow, and I find I have better luck with two people. One person feels threatened by me. You know, who's this weird old guy? What's he on about? And a group, they're kind of standoffish. You know, seems like no one kind of really wants to step forward and perhaps single themselves out. So in Dawn and Mercedes' case, I had quite a lengthy conversation with them, and the people that do talk to me, I know I'm rambling here, but I just want to explain it. You know, they say, well, what kind of questions do you want to ask? And I'm like, well, I just really kind of want you guys to talk, because, you know, I'm coming in green here, so to speak, right? And, you know, so anyways, in Dawn and Mercedes' case, we had, you know, we sat there and chatted for a half an hour. It was really informative. Mercedes is a veteran on the streets, and, well, I don't think Dawn's been around quite as long, but at least 3 years anyways. And a couple of things I learned from them. Well, I learned a lot, but it's hard to relate the conversation. And again, it starts out the same. And I mean, I'm really tempted to take and just serendipitously record the conversation because it's so genuine, but that would be dishonest. I'm not going to do that. But we had a really nice talk, and what I'm finding is Brantford is trying to bill itself as a college town, I guess. I'll have to look further into that. I'm not sure what school or schools are here or what that's all about. I'll point up the road there at the 15-minute city complex I've filmed a couple of videos about. Some of the locals immediately right here said, well, they're billing those for the college kids or the university students or whatever it is. I don't see that as I walk through there. It looks like young migrant families to me. But anyways, apparently they are billing Brantford as, you know, an upscale, send your kids here type of town. And this third-party security that's trying to sweep the homeless visually under the rug because it doesn't fit the image that the town's trying to sell. I'm going to have to dig a little deeper into that one. There is an outreach program of volunteers, and something I've learned, and the people that have been willing to talk to me So they're very honest, they're very genuine, and they're very, what would you say? Well, they display humility. They're not embarrassed by their situation, but they are straight up in their talk. And again, the reason I'm pursuing this is I'm trying to bring it to light. Maybe somebody bigger, I mean, my channel's tiny. Maybe somebody bigger should be looking into this matter and exposing. I've asked the Celtic Canuck if she could do her magic with some government numbers. Should there be any, and should they be realistic? I don't know. That's out of my league. Maybe Ezra Levant and the Rebel News should hire me. If I ever do manage to make it to Calgary, I should say Alberta, I'm going to stop at their headquarters in Winnipeg. Somebody much bigger and better than I am should be looking into this subject matter. I know it's a 6-minute video. I'm just going to keep rambling now anyways, whatever. But tomorrow, I'm hoping the word's out in the community enough that people will talk to me. Part of the problem is cell phones. The homeless have them to some extent, but they don't have the resources to, you know, burn through the data like I do. And so what little, I mean, some of them are still using pay-as-you-go, right? So the YouTube thing isn't working. Like when I say to them, well, you can look at my channel, they're like, well, I don't really have the ability to do that. So I'm hoping, I mean, I in Mercedes and Don's situation specifically, they said, well, everybody knows us, we're veterans, and we'll put the word out for you. We're going back to what's base camp now, as was then. So I'm hoping tomorrow I will go into the base camp with some degree of acceptance and get people to talk to me, because the conversation I had with that fellow at the trailers and the conversation I had with these people today and a couple of other conversations are well worth hearing, but I can't really put it across. And you know, at the end of our conversation with Don and Mercedes and myself, they said, well, you know, I guess you should have been recording this. And I said, yeah, I really wish I had have, but it's all spontaneous human intercourse. You can't just go back and say, well, what did we just talk about for the last half an hour? So I'm hoping with some acceptance that I can get that out. And I know the videos right now are disjointed and you know, there's no real quality going on and stuff. Again, this is new to me. I hope to improve it, or at least make it more relatable. And when I do manage that, to whatever degree of success I do, I hope you'll share the videos. I think the world needs to see this, and I think Canadians need to see it. How many of you, I ask you, how many of you are $1,000 or $200 away every month from being in this position? At least a quarter of the population, at least. This needs brought to light. And, well, it's going to be my orientation. Although I do have a couple of whimsical sort of political vids that I'll film right now. I know, 10-minute video, probably everybody left. Excuse me. Anyways, I'll be back.